The mysterious being Bigfoot, whose existence is still not case in, is a muscular creature with huge feet. But do you think it exists? If you doubt its existence, watch this video. You will be amazed by the story of this creature from America to Japan, from the Himalayas to Europe and many other countries. Captured in the 1880s, held captive on a farm and giving birth to 4 children from the men in the village. And the striking claims about the journeys of his descendants to the present day will blow your mind. Scientists have been chasing this creature for decades. This gigantic human-like creature is known as Bigfoot. Various footprints that began to be seen in North America since the late 1800s. Rumors of encounters with Bigfoot, photographs and video recordings have led to the gradual recognition of this creepy creature, which is believed to live deep in the forests. The common statements of those who claim to have seen it are that it is very hairy, stands upright like humans, and is around 2.5 meters tall. There are many photographs and video recordings that are said to have been taken while the Bigfoot, which has become the fearful dream of many campers and hikers, was on the prowl in the forests. But these recordings, just like their small recordings, were often blurred and sometimes deliberately misleading images made to deceive. The image that made Bigfoot popular around the world was captured in 1967 during a short film project that they were preparing to shoot with a 16mm camera. The images of this creature, which suddenly entered the field of view of the cameras, ignited the idea of the Bigfoot Hospital. Although the images have been analyzed by many video and photo experts so far, they have not been able to refute that the creature seen in the video is not really a Bigfoot. Of course, there is always the possibility that the creature in the image is a human wearing a costume. The Bigfoot legend has been alive for quite a long time, and this creature, which has been the subject of many philosophical books, was a creature known to the Indians before it became so popular. The Indians called these humanoid beings, whose bodies were completely covered with hair and were more than 2 meters tall, tipo. In 1977, 15 hairs came to the FBI laboratory with the suspicion that they might belong to this creature, which managed to become the subject of FBI investigation. Although it was understood that these hairs belonged to a kind of deer family as a result of long researches in the laboratory, dozens of Bigfoot reports are still made every year, and I want you to watch these videos.
Spotted Bigfoot in the mountains.
Bigfoot has turned into such a craze that just last year, in 2021, the Republican representative of the state of Oklahoma, Justin Hamphrey, introduced the bill numbered 1648 for the capture of Bigfoot, which is alleged to live in the forests of North America. According to the law, Rule No. 1 is to catch Bigfoot without harming it. At first, a $25,000 reward was talked about for the person who achieved this, but later this reward was increased to $2.1 million. But so far there has been no one who has been able to catch Bigfoot alive, unless of course we do not count the Bigfoot puppy, which dropped like a bomb on the agenda with the claim that it was caught in Azerbaijan last year. But as you can imagine, it didn't take long for it to be revealed that this creature in Azerbaijan was a hoax, and one of the important evidence of this creature, whose secret has not been solved, is the traces and footprints found on the Everest planting point in 1951. There is interesting information on the walls of the monastery. There are depictions on the wall explaining that people who want to come here can only reach the monastery if they overcome various difficulties. One of the difficulties on the road to reach the monastery belongs to the Yiddet known as Bigfoot. The discovery made in this monastery did not stop there. A finger skeleton was found, which the monks thought they were protecting themselves, and which was thought to belong to Thai. The discovery made in this monastery did not stop there. A finger skeleton was found, which the monks thought they were protecting themselves, and which was thought to belong to Thai. These fingerprints were taken to England and are currently being stored at the Royal College of Surgeons in London. While all this was happening, another news came from India, which attracted all the attention. The sharing was made from the official Twitter account of the Indian Army. which has millions of followers, as follows. For the first time in history, on 9th April 2019, an Indian Army mountaineering and expedition group discovered the mysterious footprints of the legendary monster Yeti around Macro Anna Camp. Of course, when such a news was shared from the Army, it attracted the attention and reaction of the whole world. Many comments on the Twitter post were mocking the Indian Army, too uninformed to distinguish the traces of a bear. It is not known who the traces really belong to, but it aroused curiosity. Bigfoot in America, this creature, known as Yeti in Asia, took the name of the child in the Soviet Union in eastern Siberia. This is a country that has its share of this legend in Japan. And there is another Bigfoot case called Agandon, as the villagers living on Ibiki Mountain say they saw. In Australia, there is a creature called the Way. The first recorded incident took place in 1977. And since that day, Yovi is a very popular mystery in Australia, just like the giant flesh-eating creatures called Tommy mentioned by the Eskimos. And when we consider the stories, Bigfoot can be seen all over the world. In order for them to be able to continue their lineage, they must have a very large population. So if they really exist and there are so many of them, how can they manage to hide them without being caught by people? Now we have come to one of the most interesting parts of the event, a Bigfoot case that was allegedly caught and recorded in historical records. Dated 1870 in a region between Georgia and Russia. Perhaps one of the most important anthropological discoveries in history was made. Rumor has it that a very interesting-looking woman was caught in the Caucasus Mountains. She was too strong to be an ordinary human being, athletic and faster than a horse. Moreover, her whole body was covered with hair. She had the characteristics of a wild animal. Professor Bryan of Oxford University claims that this human-like woman, captured in 1870, could be the legendary Bigfoot. The wild woman was discovered by a local merchant who contracted a hunting party to hunt her, and she was trapped and eventually captured by a landowner. He was taken to his mansion on the boat where he was held captive. They called him Zana. He was wild and aggressive. Unable to speak or understand what was being said, he was held captive until his death in 1890. Zana refused to wear clothes like humans throughout his life. It is said that Zana, whose entire body was covered with hair, was 198 cm tall and very muscular. Long after Zana's capture, 4 children were born to local men. Zana died in 1890 and the whereabouts of her body are unknown, but her descendants are still alive, which has allowed professors to conduct various tests on descendants of the time. According to the statement made in the Times newspaper, thanks to the DNA results obtained from the living descendants of the time, it was revealed that the time was 100/100 African, but physically or genetically, it did not belong to any of today's African groups according to scientists. The Zana event, which is met with suspicion, seems to be quite intriguing. Those who want to do detailed research about time, of course, Bigfoot, just like aliens, there is no serious evidence that can be handled with it, as you can see, but still, you be careful while wandering in the forests. See you in the next mysterious and intriguing video.